What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Your Fantasy. Two dudes, that's us, me and Steve, fake balls. That's in terms of fantasy sports not being a real thing, but a virtual reality that we put ourselves in. Steve and I both, as far as I know, have actual real testicles.
Balls?
So,
yes.
In case that's what you were wondering, that's not what the name of the show is about. We are confirming that, but welcome back. We're presented by Couch Guy Sports. Go ahead and follow Couch Guy Sports, the website. Blogs going up every day. There's podcasts, I think, popping up every day. Couch Guy Sports taking off. It's awesome. Totally immersive. I don't know if that's the right word for the situation, but that's what I'm going with. So
they're immersive. You know
Sports.
What? It's a Couch Guy experience at this point now. You got the Twitch, you got the YouTube, you got podcasts, you got Twitters. Everything's immersive, dude. And you know what? If you want to talk to us, you can always send us a message. I mean, it's an immersive experience for anybody that's popping on the Couch Guy website or whatever.
Totally immersive. That's right. That's exactly right. Anyways, I'm Connor Ryan, the guy with the Pat the Patriot hat. He's Steve Scott, the guy with the Mighty Ducks hat. Let's dive into some fantasy sports here today. Again, if you haven't, though, and since you're watching us, the only way to do that is on YouTube. So obviously, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification button. I think that's what you do on YouTube. So just go do that for this show and for Couch Guy Sports as a whole. Steve, I want to ask you like a couple of just random questions here. Let's sort of divulge around fantasy and football. But I know you played it today. The new Madden 21, thoughts on that? I know it's not fantasy football, but still, I mean, people want to know.
Yeah, every year we play it. Every year you and I have had the game since, I don't know, we were like 16, but or maybe earlier. But once again, I'm disappointed. I played the trial. I have EA access, and once again, it's the same experience, and it's getting sickening. You know what? Shout out EA, you suck. It's an anti shout out to EA. I'm not getting it. I'll play the trial. I'll play the 10 hours and then forget it ever happened. But how you feeling? You haven't played it yet, but
I haven't even played it. I've seen like YouTube clips of it though. I mean, so I feel like I've already played it. I think the gameplay is better. It looks like guys are more fluid. And I know they changed like the elusiveness rating, which is pretty much just like quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, that rating into like change of direction, and they did it for literally everybody on the field. So I know that helps with like, I know you could basically take like a linebacker like a Miles Jack who had like 92 speed and then just patrol the entire middle of the field on defense, and like nobody can complete anything. He was basically like a shutdown corner playing in the middle of the field that could also play like a run stopping linebacker. Like it just wasn't fair. So I know they changed that, and I think it's actually worked a lot for the better. But I'm with you. It's just so disappointing. I know they didn't even touch franchise mode. Everybody's like, dude, unless you play like, the ultimate team stuff, like don't bother buying the game. It's the exact same thing all over again, which is pretty much what I play it for. I play for franchise mode.
Me too.
It sucks that they didn't even touch it. I've seen like Face of the Franchise. I love the career mode stuff, and that I feel like took a step back. I was really disappointed in that. Like it was kind of okay last year. They didn't push it far enough. And then this year, from everything I've seen, it's like too easy. The story makes literally zero sense. Like you're a starting quarterback. You could put up like 80 points in the national championship game, and the coach still comes to you and is like, hey, we're going to go with the other guy. You got to either switch positions or get out. So that kind of sucks.
Oh.
And then from everything I've seen, you get drafted by the same – like you either have to say, I want to get drafted by a certain team, or if you say like, I think there's like a press conference and they ask you, like, do you want to be drafted by a certain team? You can either say, like, yes, I want to be drafted by my favorite team, or I'll let fate decide. Well, apparently fate deciding is the Chicago Bears. Like, I've seen, like, 10 different people be like, dude,
really?
No matter what I do, if I select that answer, I get drafted by Chicago Bears. Like, there is no I guess there's a glitch where if, like, you're a scrambling quarterback and you switch to being a wide receiver, you can still go into the draft as a quarterback. You go to the combine, you can run like a 4.340, and then still yet when you go to the draft, when you get to the NFL, you're a pocket passing quarterback with like 65 speed overall. It just doesn't like make any sense at all. It took a huge step back, and I don't understand it because we've seen like FIFA and 2K have
2K,
like
yeah, especially
real actual career modes with like actual stories, and it actually makes sense to your rise to the top. And like, it's just, I don't understand how like the people making Madden were just like, they can't come up with an actual career mode and story or fixed franchise mode.
Yeah, at the bare minimum, just
get
a
it.
franchise mode that, was updated to the 21st century. I mean, we've been
Yeah.
playing the same franchise mode for the last 10 years. And you
We've
know
had
what? We still do it.
And we've had the same relocation cities with the
Yep.
same exact team names. It's been like the Columbus Explorers for the last like 5 years, and it's just enough is enough. I remember a time in Madden where you could literally pick like any city in the United States and create your entire new uniform. You could basically create a logo, and it's absolute garbage. It's sad where it's going to, but I mean, I know what it is. It's the microtransactions in Madden Ultimate Team that they're going for. They don't exactly care about like, they don't make money off of franchise mode because they know we're suckers. We're going to buy the game anyway. So there's our rant on Madden. Kind of fancy football, kind of not. My second question for you, Steve, before we get into our main topic here today, is I wrote a blog about it today. But do you draft Cam Newton this year? And if he is your quarterback number one on your team, do you feel confident going into 2020?
I do think Cam is draftable this year. I think he's worthwhile to have on your roster, but as a starting quarterback, I think it's kind of desperate. I think if you're in a situation where you have to have Cam as your quarterback and you started it, like you're starting him, something went wrong in your draft, or maybe everything else is stacked and you just don't really care about quarterback, and then you're going to just kind of wing it until someone else gets hot. But as far as like if you were like targeting him in the draft, I wouldn't be targeting Cam.
Okay.
How about you?
I wrote about it and I said like, okay, last year is a wash just because he hurt his foot. Let's look at the 2 years before that, and he put up like 275 to almost 300 points between those 2 years. If you looked at his weapons on the Panthers, he had a rookie and a second-year Christian McCaffrey, which obviously, Christian McCaffrey now is a consensus top 2 pick. He's a really good player. I completely understand that, but he was also throwing to like a broken down Greg Olsen and Devin Funchess and fat Kelvin Benjamin.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean,
him and John Olerud.
Right. But I don't understand like, and he was being drafted as like a top 10 quarterback. People were projecting to be a top 10 quarterback. And after last year, I understand he gets hurt. He has the shoulder surgery, and all of a sudden that falls apart because he goes to New England. I think he has tremendous upside. And I think if you could project him maybe in between that, like 285, 290 points in a standard like ESPN scoring league like we play in, that's putting him in like the Matt Stafford, Carson Wentz range. And if you're saying, hey, my team is stacked, but my quarterback is Matt Stafford, Carson Wentz, I think you feel really good about your team going into this year. So I think if he can play to that level, and I think he can maybe do a little better than that, I definitely think Cam is draftable and is a definite QB1 this year. But I mean, I also said in the blog, let's be honest, nobody is starting out bragging about their fantasy team by saying, so first off, I drafted Matt Stafford. So that's how my season's going. Like no one has ever started off bragging about their team that way.
I'll tell you what, I did an offline draft this Saturday, and a kid in my league, Ben Campbell, was targeting Matt Stafford for multiple rounds. I don't think he ended up drafting him, but he was like Matt Stafford was on his radar big time. I was like, what? What do you who the hell? I've never heard that word. I've never heard that before. He's like, dude, I gotta get Matthew Stafford. I gotta have him. I'm like, all right.
I feel like Stafford is just one of those guys that's like, oh, I got him at this level. Like, okay, that's cool. I'll take it. Like, at this stage of the draft, if he's my starting quarterback, that's not bad because look at my receivers, look at my running backs, look at my tight end.
Yeah.
Look at my bench. That's how it's looking at. But all right, those are 2 quick topics I wanted to cover before we really got into it, because this week we're covering, I think, what pretty much everybody loves about fantasy football. And I think this is like one of the articles and the posts that people click on the most, or at least I know I do. And that is who is breaking out this year. Not so much sleepers. Sleepers is like a different category. But who is breaking out and who is going to be a bust this year. So We're going to do the top 2 that we feel on each side for each position, except for defense and special teams and kickers, because that doesn't really matter. I don't think it does. I mean,
in your world,
it's tough to predict breakouts in that area. So we're going to focus, though, on like quarterback, running back, receiver, and tight ends. So you know what? Let's start out on a happy note, Steve. Who do you have breaking out as a signal caller under center, the quarterbacks?
Breaking out this year, and this is probably the most obvious, which means it probably won't happen, but I'm going to say it's Drew Lock. I think he played great last year as a starter. I think John Elway is handing him the keys to the kingdom in Denver. Drafted Jerry Jeudy in the first round. He's got Cortland Sutton. He's got a bunch of little whatever they call it. I don't even know the word. Like
weapons.
Yeah, weapons. Jeez, what the freak's wrong with me? A bunch of let me think. But and you got what's his face? Who's the running back there again? Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon. I'm happy about right. So I think Drew Lock is poised for a breakout.
Okay, Drew Lock, not a bad one.
Yep, Drew Lock, and then I have my number 2 quarterback breakout this year is Baker Mayfield. I believe in Baker this year. Yeah.
Okay.
Freddie Kitchens is gone.
Yeah.
Odell is healthy. Dude, who's the coach? Is it Mike McCarthy for the Browns now?
No, it's Kevin Stefanski, the offensive coordinator from the Vikings last year.
Okay. Well,
I believe.
Never heard of the guy, but I believe.
Oh, well, Baker's still going to break out.
Baker's going to be even sicker than before.
Yeah.
But he's got Odell. Yeah. He's got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry, of course. And then you have to remember Austin Hooper's around now, too.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
I think, you know what? I think that Austin Hooper, big take, is the missing link from last year's team. I think Austin Hooper, healthy Austin Hooper, badass. David Njoku, get out of here. Don't care. But your boy
David
Austin
Njoku,
Hooper,
more like David, joke's on you.
Joke's on you if you draft that.
That didn't land like
I liked it. No, I thought it was funny. I liked it.
For my breakout quarterbacks, I agree with you on Drew Lock. You forgot naming KJ Hamlin, another receiver they added, a little speedster out of Penn State. And I think Noah Fant, I'm going to talk about him later. I think he takes a step forward as well from the tight end position. So I'm a big fan of Drew Lock, because you're absolutely right. They just loaded him up with weapons. He's kind of my pick for like a sleeper MVP pick, just because the last 2 years we've seen Mahomes and Lamar Jackson take that huge leap in year 2. In fact, last year we saw the guy replace Joe Flacco. Ended up being MVP and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Last year, Drew Lock replaces Joe Flacco in Denver. I don't know. I'm
just
saying he does have a ton of weapons around him. So I'm a big fan of Drew Lock breaking out and kind of having a big year and ending up like, close to a QB1 in fantasy. My other breakout, we kind of talked about last week when I shit all over Josh Allen. That is Daniel Jones. I went on record saying that he's going to have a better fantasy season than Josh Allen. I mean, I have to go with him as a breakout candidate. Daniel Jones, I like him going into year 2, another year with Saquon Barkley. I know fumbles were a big issue for everybody last year, but Daniel Jones, I guess, said he bulked up in the offseason. So added a bunch of muscle and got jacked and ripped, I guess. So I'm big on Daniel Jones this year, breaking out for the New York Giants and having a better season than Josh Allen. So, yeah.
Wow. I just died. And you know what's great about that? Because that leads right into my bust category.
My
first big bust. Yes, my first big bust is inspired by you and your love for Daniel Jones for whatever strange reason. I am not believing in the hype at all. He gained weight, gained muscle, dude.
Gained weight.
He gained weight. Went straight to his thighs, and then he's going to blow up like Squidward.
Like a Krabby Patty.
Yeah, he ate too many Krabby Patties. That's what his deal is. I don't care that he's been working out. This is my notes. So I wrote that down, actually.
I don't care that he's been working out.
In all capitals, don't care that he's been working out. He's a joker, an Eli Manning clone, and he might be the next Jameis Winston. Daniel Jones, sit on it and rotate. You suck. I can't wait to root against him. And then my second, how about that?
You came prepared for that one.
Yeah. Next level hatred for Dan Jones now. And then my second bust is Ryan Tannehill. I just think that that 2020 was a fluke. I think he scammed the city of Tennessee out of $100 million. Second time he's done that. Did it once to Miami somehow.
Schilling style.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, he just came in and stole their taxpayer money.
I don't know if he's getting paid with taxpayer money, Steve, but yeah.
Okay. Big take he is. Big take he's a corrupt politician also. He'll be handing the ball off at Derrick Henry nonstop. He can't throw accurately past 10 yards, and I think as a result, A.J. Brown will not be as good as we think he could be, but I'm not going to put him on this list. I'm just saying that just for the fun. But Tannehill, big-time fluke. All right, what you got?
Okay. Let's see. My first bust in spirit of what Steve was talking about, Josh Allen.
You sucker. You sucker. Wow.
Josh Allen.
Screenshot this one.
Yeah, I mean, the dude can't throw a deep ball to save his life. He can throw it 90 yards, but he has no idea where it's going. He's the equivalent to a reliever in baseball, like an Aroldis Chapman. He can throw it 103 miles per hour. No clue where it's going. Has no idea.
That's a great thing.
Trying to throw it down the middle of the plate. It's going to end up in the fifth row. That is Josh Allen in a goddamn nutshell. Adding Stefon Diggs, not going to do a damn thing for him when you can't get it to him. I am out on Josh Allen this year. Total bust. Don't draft him. Keep him off your board. I saw Steve drafted him this past weekend. Congrats on losing. Congrats on last place.
Oh, my God.
My second bust is maybe a little bit of a surprise to people, but I have Deshaun Watson as a bust. Now, I'm not here to say Deshaun Watson's a bad quarterback. I'm not saying that at all. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's a winner. I think he's fantastic at what he does as a professional.
For sure.
But when you take away DeAndre Hopkins and replace him with David Johnson, I mean, 4 years ago, that seems like a great idea. Okay, whatever. That's what Houston's going to roll with. Then good for them. They added another huge weapon for another. But in today's day and age, when you take away DeAndre Hopkins, who is clearly by far and away like Deshaun Watson's best weapon, his favorite weapon, his go-to guy, they can just chuck it up there half the time and make a big play. That's completely gone for a banged-up, possibly over-the-hill running back. They added Brandon Cooks. Maybe. Okay, I don't know. Brandon Cooks has kind of taken a step back ever since Jason McCourty knocked a touchdown out of his hands twice in Super Bowl 52, just saying. Or 53, I think. Yeah, 53. That happened twice. He knocked it out of his hands. Should have been like a game winner and then a tying touchdown in the fourth quarter twice. Mm-hmm. He has never been the same since that. I don't know what he does in Houston. It's odd that someone as talented as Brandon Cooks keeps bouncing from team to team to team to team. It's like he's talented, but he's not franchise wide receiver talented. So Fuller can't stay on the field. Will Fuller cannot stay on the field for all 16 games. Deshaun Watson, I know a lot of people have him in their top 5 for quarterbacks. I think he's going to fall out of that this year. I think he's still good, but he's not like the high draft pick that people are using him for. Let's go to running backs. I'll start with this one. I'll keep it rolling. Breakout. It's kind of tough for running backs because I feel like I didn't want to put rookies in my breakout category just because like they've never played a snap, but I guess I'm going to have to count it, especially with running backs. A breakout one I have is Jonathan Taylor with the Indianapolis Colts. They used a second-round pick on him. I watched the dude at Wisconsin for 3 years destroy Big Ten defenses. The dude's legit. He's got it all. He's got power. He's got speed. He has vision. There's nobody on that Indianapolis team running back-wise. Marlon Mack, Nyland Hines, or whatever that guy's name is.
He's good.
They're not going to handcuff him. Stop it. Jonathan Taylor's a workhorse. He's going to get the ball a ton. He's going to help Phillip Rivers take some weight off of his shoulders. Jonathan Taylor's going to have a huge year for Indianapolis. Mark it down. I'm drafting him as like a solid running back too. The other one I like, another rookie out of Utah going to the Buffalo Bills because Josh Allen's not going to be able to throw a goddamn lick. I do like Zach Moss though. Power back, he's going to take over from Frank Gore's spot, and I think I just read today they're going to have him more in the passing game as well. Devin Singletary, watch out. I think your job's in danger here, buddy. But Zach Moss, powerful back. He's going to get a lot of goal line carries. And if he starts catching the ball too, I mean, granted, if Josh Allen can get it to him, I like Zach Moss a lot. So two rookies on my breakout list, Jonathan Taylor, Zach Moss at running back. I'm big on them.
Who would you compare Jonathan Taylor to, running backs that I would know, like now or anytime?
boy, I'm trying to think of a guy that's just kind of like an all-around, like just a workhorse. Not blazing speed, but has enough, like a better, like a good version of Devontae Freeman. When Devontae Freeman was good, I'll say him.
Cool.
A good blend of power and speed, good vision. That's the one I can think of off the top of my head. When you're going through your list, I might try to keep thinking.
All right. In that case, I'll do it. Ready? My first breakout for this year, Ronald Jones.
Corey Dillon is another one.
Corey Dillon, okay. All right, so a strong guy that can run you over and shit, but also kind of fast.
And run away from you. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, he can run away. Okay. Big veins in the arms, and like remember how Corey Dillon's veins in the arms? Oh,
yeah, he did.
A couple years.
Yeah. Get him in the NFL weight room with a few years.
Yeah, get him some roids. He'll be all right.
Yeah, sorry. What, did you say Ronald Jones?
Ronald Jones is my.
Okay, I had it in parentheses here. I'm glad you said him then.
Yeah, Ronald Jones. I've been reading. I actually drafted him in that offline Pags league. And shout out Pags, by the way. Pags watched the first episode in entirety with his dad to prepare for me to come over to that draft. Shout out Pags.
What's up, Pags?
But yeah, so I was reading this before the draft that he had put on 12 pounds of muscle, and I believe his weight that he put on did not go to his thighs. It's pure muscle, all bicep, and I'm sure he's got plenty of veins popping out of his bicep. So I'm taking him as soon as I can. He's Brady's workhorse back, 3-down back. Brady loves a big back, like Garrett Blount, Corey Dillon along the way. So I believe Ronald Jones will be putting up some numbers this year.
Yeah,
So I'm drafting Ronald Jones. So don't hands off.
I like that.
And then number 2. I mentioned him in the first episode, and you know what? He's probably not that much of a breakout because it's already broken out, but I think he's going to be in the top tier, elite, top 5 picks next year. Status is Josh Jacobs. Let's see what I say. Yeah, he could be in elite territory this time next year. He averaged 18.6 carries per game last year as a rookie. How about that? I looked it up as a stat.
Yeah. They pound him like year too.
What in injury play? Exactly. Yeah, he got hurt near the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know, and he was with a busted shoulder. He was running still.
Running people over. Yeah.
Hell yeah, running people over. One shoulder like Dante Hightower in the Super Bowl. But they pound they pound him into the fucking ground. Gruden loves him. And if he can find the end zone some more this year, he could be. Yeah. I think that's like the difference maker for fantasy is if he scores some more. But I believe big time in Josh Jacobs.
Okay, I like that. I'm with you on those 2 selections there. All right, time for busts. Time for the guys that are going to let you down. Running backs. My first one, Aaron Jones, Green Bay.
Hell yeah.
I mean, his numbers go up every single year. Last year is over 1,000 yards rushing, 236 carries. Those numbers are great, but what really pushed him into that elite tier was the 16 touchdowns. He's not touching that again. Especially with the Packers drafting A.J. Dillon. Matt LaFleur loves A.J. Dillon. I've seen pictures of the dude on Twitter. I mean, his legs are just absolutely massive. His legs are as wide as I am, and I'm like 250 pounds. So
he's from New London, by the way.
Massive.
He's a New England guy. New London. Yeah. He was born and raised, baby.
Boston College running back. A.J. Dillon's going to take some goal line carries away from Aaron Jones. So Aaron Jones, I think he's still a good running back, but don't draft him expecting last year's production at all. That's not going to be the case. My other bust in this guy, I cannot root for, not that I can't root for him. I just can't get behind this guy when people try to keep telling me to like believe in him or, hey, he's not that bad. That's just Leonard Fournette. I'm done with Leonard Fournette. Yeah. I'm finished with the dude. He dominated at LSU, and I think that's what everyone remembers and kind of sticks to. But that was also against the crap non-conference games they played in the SEC. And whenever he went up against like good defenses like Alabama, the dude folded. And he's just decent. Don't draft him thinking he's going to be your running back number 1 or even running back number 2. If he's your flex, okay, that's fine. But just don't draft him expecting too much. I know last year he had like 1,100 yards and only 3 touchdowns. Jacksonville's not finding the end zone that many more times, people. Don't expect more than like 5 touchdowns from Leonard Fournette. Maybe he sniffs 1,000 yards again, but I'm not believing him as my workhorse back. He's a bust for me. I'm done believing in Leonard Fournette.
I like that a lot. I'm glad you said that. I didn't actually think of him. But I'm so done with him. I didn't even think of him. He's a sucker. Yeah. I'm sick. I'm just. Leonard Fournette is a certified. Stamp it.
Boom! But, that is our proclamation this week. Leonard Fournette is a
your balls.
Sucka. You wait till we tweet that at him. You are a sucker.
Yo, you are a sucker with a hard A. So anyway. Well, going off that, my bust, and we've already mentioned him tonight, is
I'm
going
to tweet that at him right now.
Sucka?
I'm going to find. What's the best part? Like, not to interrupt you here, Steve, but Leonard Fournette. I think I heard something this offseason by him saying what he did was travel the globe, and then wherever he went, or like since there was coronavirus, he's like, I stayed away from it by traveling the globe, and wherever it showed up, I ran away. I'm like, dude, it's called a global pandemic. You didn't run away from it. But what are you talking about, Leonard Fournette? I'm so done with him. I'm done with him. He's
like Mark Wahlberg in The Happening, just running away from air.
Yeah, all right, go ahead. There we go. Yeah. I'm going to tweet at Leonard Fournette right now. You sucka. Boom.
Perfect.
It's out in the world.
Perfect. I like it. You know what? That's Couch Guy approved. Or not Couch Guy. I can't speak for Couch Guy. That's your ball, your whatever our name is, your fantasy balls.
I forgot to put a period in front of this at. Okay, go ahead.
What does that do, by the way, the period before the at? Is that a thing?
That way it shows up in other people's timelines. If not, it just looks like it's a reply.
Oh, I never knew. Yeah. Damn. That's good to know. All right. My first one is Devin Singletary. Like you said, Zach Moss is definitely the favorite to be the main guy there, I think. And you know what? Last year I didn't see much. He's kind of small. Devin Singletary he's kind of smaller than I would imagine him to be. And like Frank Gore was taking out touches from him last year. I'm not feeling it. And you know what? Even as a rusher, Josh Allen's skill set is more Taylor. Oh, here we go on the side. Oh, this is a live tweet. Let's go. Let's see this.
I just want to prove it.
Let's see. Oh yeah. Now that's
we did
you
it.
A sucker.
You a sucker, Leonard Fournette.
Now that's the content I'm looking for. That is beautiful. We should do more live tweeting, Connor. I like that idea. That was cool.
Who are you on, Devin Singletary?
Yeah, Singletary. That was way cooler than whatever I was going to say. That was badass. Devin Singletary, though, another sucker, though. I wouldn't tweet at him. Not worth tweeting at, but sucker nonetheless. Yeah, he doesn't get dumped down to enough. It's not enough like check downs. Josh Allen's not that kind of guy. I'm not feeling it. And my other guy is, and this might surprise you, is Austin Eckler. Something about him, I just don't see him being as my main running back. Wow. You know what I mean? Like people are drafting him as like an RB1, and I
would love that dude.
Are you that kind of guy?
Oh yeah, big time Austin Eckler fan. Dude catches out of the backfield, runs between the tackles, does it all.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Gets the goal line touches. Melvin Gordon's gone. See, it's Austin Eckler. It's the Austin Eckler show this year.
I'm saying he will not live up to the RB1 hype. I think he'll be okay.
You will not live up to the fantasy champion hype.
Oh. Hey, at least I have the hype, though. That's actually very nice.
Wide receivers, breakout candidates. My first one, I'm sticking with the AFC North for my breakout candidates. First one, Marquise Hollywood Brown, Baltimore Ravens.
Cool.
We're big onto the guys that were in the gym this year. I think you saw he put on like 23 pounds of muscle. The dude already can run like Tyreek Hill. He battled injuries all last year. Had some big games and then had some games where he wasn't existent. I'm big on Marquise Hollywood Brown this year. I saw a clip where he beat Marlon Humphrey, who's a very good corner, just clean, and Lamar Jackson dropped it in on a dime for a touchdown. I'm a huge fan of Marquise Brown this year. And I know the sabermetrics, I looked it up earlier, back it up, like the amount of like percentage of targets and then the efficiency he had and said targets, like back him up for having a breakout year. I don't have the numbers in front of me, folks. Just take my goddamn word for it. Marquise Brown breaking out this year for the Ravens. The other one is Deontay Johnson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like Deontay Johnson. Big Ben is back. He's going to take over kind of that outside role. I'm not a huge fan of Juju Smith-Schuster. I'll say that right now.
No.
I don't think he's that good. I think Antonio Brown opened the up for a lot, but Big Ben loves his outside the numbers wide receivers like an Antonio Brown and like a, dare I say it, Steve, Martavis Bryant. Remember that guy? Who's the other one? Mike Wallace. Like Big Ben just loves his receivers on the outside of the numbers. He loves chucking it up to those guys. Deontay Johnson, another long line of outside the number wide receivers for Big Ben to throw it up to. Chalk them up. Marquise Brown, Deontay Johnson, they are breaking out this year.
You know what? I am anti-Ben Roethlisberger, always have been, and obviously he's a sucker, big time. But I don't believe – big-time sucker all around. But I just don't know about his health anymore. I don't believe that he can throw the deep ball. I think his back's ready to break. You know what I mean? I just don't know. Like, as a passer, I believe in the potential of Deontay Johnson, but I don't know about Ben throwing the ball to him. That's what scares me. But that's my.
I can understand that, but I like Deontay Johnson. So
thank you for respecting my opinion.
Yeah, I respect it, but it's wrong.
Okay, yeah, thank you. All right, this is breakout, right? Yeah. All right,
breakouts. Yeah.
My breakout receiver. My first one is Christian Kirk. I also drafted him in the offline league, and I didn't say a damn word prior to me doing it. I'm a big fan of Christian Kirk. I think that offense, the Arizona offense, is ready to explode. And I was reading up on it. And I was like, all right, yeah, I believe in Kyler now, in Cliff Kingsbury, the whole 9 yards. And Kyler is going to throw to Hopkins quite a bit, but Hopkins can't catch them all. And you know what? Larry Fitzgerald, sorry, bro, but you're old. Christian Kirk is the young legs. He's fast. I think he could go for 1,000 yards. I believe. I think he's got a lot of potential. And you know what? He kind of reminds me of like a Randall Cobb type, like that smaller, maybe a slot dude, but also could run the outside routes, whatever. I believe in Christian Kirk big time this year.
Christian Kirk, okay. Bus. I'm going to start off with the guy you mentioned earlier when you talked about Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown. I think he's good, but again, don't be expecting – he had just ridiculous touchdown numbers last year. You can't expect him to duplicate that. Don't expect him to do it. A.J. Brown, he's getting busted. I actually have 2 other busts as well. I did 3 for wide receivers.
Okay.
There are a couple of guys I want to take jabs at. The first one is Tyreek Hill. The dude is kind of a boom or bust option already. And he's like taken in that top tier of wide receivers because of his booms. Like he can go off for a game of like 180 yards and 3 touchdowns against Jacksonville or whatever easily. But the Chiefs they've done a lot of chirping, since they won their Super Bowl. They think this dynasty is coming in. They're the next ones up. Look,
gag me with a chainsaw.
As a Patriots fan, we understand how hard it is to keep a dynasty going, to win year in and year out, because now the target is on your back. You just spent the entire winter celebrating. You got to be able to push that aside and get back to work. We saw it happen with the Eagles. Everyone thought the Eagles, after they won their Super Bowl, were going to be awesome. Oh, my gosh, Carson Wentz is coming back. Look where the Eagles are now. They're 9-7,
losers,
mediocrity-filled team in the NFC East.
Suckers.
Yeah. Now, I don't think the Chiefs, they're suckers, yeah. I don't think the Chiefs are going to fall into that category, but I don't think they're going to be as good. And we've seen the Chiefs' offense. It can be dynamic. It can be fast striking, yes. But we've also seen the Patriots shut it down for an entire half. And we've now seen the 49ers basically shut it down for 3+ quarters in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
This offense is containable. Mm-hmm. And I just think they've done a lot of talking and not enough work and not enough preparation to get back to being that type of offense. I think Tyreek Hill and the Chiefs offense takes a small step back this year. So don't expect top-tier production numbers out of him. And my other one, Stefon Diggs. Going to Buffalo is not helping him. Another shot at Josh Allen. He's a sucker.
Wow.
Josh Allen, sit and spin. Stefon Diggs. Stefon Diggs is another one. He's very boomer bust. He's not reliable. He's not consistent. And that was with Kirk Cousins, one of the most consistently average but consistent quarterbacks in the world. I don't think going to Buffalo helps Stefon Diggs. It's one of those on paper and in Madden. It's like, oh my God, what a move. But in real life, I don't see it paying off huge dividends. So there's 3 busts: A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Stefon Diggs.
All right. Well, you know what? I got a big one for you. You know what? You're not going to like it. Number 1, Devontae Adams. Sorry.
Wow.
Wow. That's a big old no thanks. But you
Coming
know
at
what,
the
though?
throne.
Yeah, you know what, though? Screw Devontae. However, I don't fully hate him. I would take him as a wide receiver 2, not very confidently, but I would. Wide receiver 3/flex, I'd be happy with him. He may be consistent, but I mean, he doesn't put up fantasy. Dude, it's like 7 points a week. That's not flashy. That's not what I want. I want touchdowns. I want potential. Devontae, thanks for your 7 points for like 3 weeks straight, and then he gets hurt, got a concussion, someone breaks his leg again. Get out of here, Devontae. You suck. And you know what? I'm sick of Aaron Rodgers. They just suck. I'm sick of Devontae, man. I just don't want him. You can draft him all day.
I will take. Give me
someone's gonna keep him.
Devontae consistency Adams every day of the week.
Yeah, consistently mediocre.
Consistently. Consistency.
Yeah, the consistency of Devontae Adams, if he was a mixture, would be disgusting. Just throw it in the garbage. All right, number 2. And one. Yeah. By the way, after I say this, I'm gonna have to grab my laptop charger.
Me too.
Number 2.
Actually. Crazy.
What are you at? I'm at 3% right now.
Oh, I'm at 26. Never mind. You're way better than you.
I'm in trouble. All right. My number 2 is Keenan Allen. Another consistent receiver, another consistent kind of guy. However, I'm not looking at him for wide receiver 1 numbers. I think he's good, but I think he's just kind of a bust. You know what I mean? Tyrod doesn't have much of a deep ball. That's kind of what Keenan was known for with Phillip Rivers. He's a big receiver. He'll make a lot of big plays for the Chargers. But as far as a fantasy like stalwart kind of guy to have to build your team around, I'm not feeling it. He's a wide receiver 2 or 3 at best. That's my second bust.
Can't stay on the field either. I'm with you.
You can't. No, he's always got a problem. And you know what? Big take last year, which I was wrong about. Come to find out, but I wanted Mike Williams over Keenan Allen, and that was kind of stupid of me to say. But I believed in Mike Williams. So you know what? By the way, second wide receiver breakout would be Mike Williams. How about that? And that's not even what I wrote. I had my second breakout was N'Keal Harry. I think he's going to be good, but I think Mike Williams is another breakout. So watch out for Mike Williams.
N'Keal Doughboy Harry, according to Cam Newton, calls him Doughboy. All right, let's go on to tight ends now. Steve, I'll let you start this one. Breakout tight ends this year.
All right, breakout tight end. My first one is Hayden Hurst of the Falcons.
Okay. Yep.
Hurst takes over for Austin Hooper. And Austin Hooper, if we remember, had a ton of targets throughout his career, but especially last year. I think I don't even know how many targets he had. I should have wrote it down. But ton.
It was a lot.
Yeah. And Hurst is healthy. He looked good. He was a former Raven. I like him. I think former Raven has nothing to do with anything, but I just remember him playing it. I remember him being on the team in the in the Madden depth chart. Like, Hayden Hurst was one guy. Remember the other guy, Max Williams?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to that guy?
Ravens just always have like a bunch of good tight ends.
Yeah, like a bunch of athletic dudes. Yeah, there you go, Dennis Pitta. Whatever happened to him?
Heap. Oh man, Todd Heap was a fantasy staple for years.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. He was like the first like Greg Olsen kind of type too. Like, just have him in there, just plug him.
Don't have to worry about him. He's just always going for it. Yeah. No, I like it.
Full
disclosure. Yeah, to shorten mine, I guess. I have Hayden Hurst on mine, so I agree with you 100%. Because was on the Ravens, first round draft pick, just never quite like Mark Andrews just kind of took over the spot.
Exactly.
And then the Falcons, they didn't even try. They didn't even offer Austin Hooper to come back. They didn't even send him a deal to try to get him back. And instead, they offered the Ravens a second round draft pick for Hayden Hurst. So obviously, the Falcons love Hayden Hurst, and they think he's going to fit in right away with Matt Ryan and basically be Austin Hooper, maybe even better. So I'm with you. Hayden Hurst, that's a great pick for tight end.
Awesome. My second one is Tyler Higbee of the Rams. And I see a lot of people hating on him, but the last few games of the season last year I thought were real. You think he's a sucker? No, he's not a sucker. Why is he a sucker?
Yeah. No. You look at his other 2 years, it's just been nothing, absolutely nothing. And what was last year? Was that like, oh my God, he actually like became Tyler Higbee that we all expected, or was it just circumstances of Jared Goff? Like, oh, we don't have Todd Gurley anymore, so I'm going to throw it to you now. I don't know. I don't believe in Tyler.
That's why
Higbee.
I believe that. Oh, come on. Now that's what was the word that we used earlier? A weapon. He's a weapon. He's a fucking AK-47 for Jared Goff. He is ready, dude.
No, he's not.
He's a fucking
like
loaded
a candle.
He's a loaded bazooka waiting to pop the fuck off. Tyler Higbee, I'm drafting him. Maybe. I can't confirm that, but if the time comes and I see him there, I like him. I'm into Tyler Higbee. I think Gerald Everett, that's his competition. Who cares? I don't know who else Goff has to throw to. He liked Higbee near the end. I think they have a good rapport. And you know what? I think he could end up being a top 15 tight end. How about that by year's end?
That's a breakout candidate for you as a top 15 tight end?
Well, who the hell was he prior to last year? Nobody.
Okay, but still top 15. That's like on your bench tight end. That's not even a starting tight end.
No, it's not. Well, you think all right, 10-team league.
10-team league. And he's gonna be top 15. So say if he's number 14, he's not a starting tight end. That's breakout.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fine. He'll be
and actually to tell you right now in Fantasy Pros, he's the number 8 ranked tight end. So
well, you know what?
Inside the top 15.
Okay, fine. You know what? Higher. You know what? He'll be a top 7. He'll be a top 7 tight end. How about that? I believe in Tyler Higbee. I don't know why. I'm gonna stand Tyler Higbee suddenly.
I'm so out on Tyler Higbee. All right. My other breakout, other than Hayden Hurst, was Noah Fant of the Denver Broncos. The dude runs like a wide receiver, but is built like a tight end. It's always such a dangerous weapon. And if you look at his stats during his rookie season, he was actually very comparable to the rookie stats of like George Kittle. Gronk in yardage and catches, Gronk had like 10 touchdowns his rookie year, which is unheard of, but very comparable to George Kittle. A few touchdowns here and there and 500 yards catching. That's pretty good for a rookie tight end. Not a lot of rookie tight ends can put up those sort of numbers. I really like Noah Fant, especially with all the other weapons they have. He's going to get some favorable matchups. So I'm a big fan of Noah Fant, tight end for the Denver Broncos, helping out my other breakout, Drew Lock.
I like it. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Noah Fant.
Right. Who's busting? Who's a sucker?
All right, who's a big sucker right now? You ready for this?
Big old sucker. Yeah.
This guy's going to be a sucker because he's way too hyped. It is Mike Gesicki of the Dolphins.
Ooh, okay.
I think he's getting way too much hype. Every single person that you talk, dude. I'm at the draft the other day. Hey, Mike Gesicki. Oh yeah, Mike Gesicki. I'm like, huh? Mike. Oh, dude, you know about him too? Oh, geez. I guess he's not a sleeper. He's gonna. And then it's like, wait a second. Who? Why do we like him? Oh, because Tua is a rookie and he'll be, depending on a tight end, or Ryan Fitzpatrick is there and he's the quarterback. I don't know. I just don't like it. I'm not feeling it. This guy came out of nowhere to be hyped like this. I'm not feeling it. I never trust the Dolphins. I just don't like him. Just no, Mike Gesicki. What do you feel about that? How do you feel about it?
I agree with you though. There's a lot of hype around Gesicki, which I don't like when one guy's like universally everybody's like, all right, this dude is going to break out. They usually do. So I'm kind of with you on that one. There's a little too much hype surrounding Mike Gesicki. He was a big favorite target of like Ryan Fitzpatrick, but does Fitzpatrick keep the job all year? Probably not. I think Tua probably gets the job at some point. So I'm kind of with you. Just there's too much hype around Mike Gesicki to trust him. Mm-hmm. My busts are Jared Cook.
He's my other one. I have him down too.
Okay. Oh yeah, you didn't start. Yeah, I'm sorry, I cut you off there. But okay, we agree on Jared Cook.
Yes, we do.
All right, the dude's done nothing. Like he had a big year for New Orleans last year at like 32 years old. Okay, he had one career year. Good for him. Other than that, he's always been that guy. It's like he could be good. Like I'm waiting for it. He is good. I'm waiting for that. I haven't seen it yet. So
I agree.
Yeah. Sorry to cut you off here, but okay, we agree on Jared Cook.
He was a touchdown guy too last year. Like he got points, but it was because touchdowns. That's the reason. It's not like he's getting receptions and he's targeted. It's because whatever. And you know what? Like the Saints have Emmanuel Sanders now to go with Michael Thomas. That'll take away from his targets for sure. He's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah. My other bust, Evan Ingram of the New York Giants. Surprising since I have Daniel Jones breaking out, but Evan Ingram I'm done believing in Evan Ingram. He's a sucker too. I'm just done believing in him. Everybody's like, oh my God, Evan Ingram's going to finally do it. He's not. I'm done with Evan Ingram. So he's a bust.
I'm glad you have the confidence to say that because you know what? Someone had to say it. The guy is a bust.
Someone had to say it.
Yeah. I'm not feeling it.
Right now, he's like the 6th ranked tight end on Fantasy Pros. I'd rather have like Hayden Hurst over him, to be honest with you. So
He reminds me of Jordan Reed, like the guy that has it going on, but he just like it seems like it's going to work and it just never does.
He has like all the talent in the world. Like you look at all the stats, you look at all the numbers. It's like, wow, this dude is just an athlete. He should be dominating.
Right.
He's just not. Almost maybe like a David Njoku too, where you look at him, you're just like, dude, you should be just crushing it, but you just can't put it together. So, Evan Ingram, he's out. He's a bust. So
I like it.
Yeah. All right, there you go. There's our breakouts and busts, everybody. I know fantasy drafts, or like Steve said, he had one this past week. I know they're starting, so good luck with those, everybody. Hopefully we can help sway some decisions in the right way for you and help you out with those and give you maybe some last-second advice if you're on the fence about any of these guys that we just mentioned. Hopefully push them in the right direction for you. But remember, some guys are suckas, some are not. But that's Leonard Fournette is the king sucka.
He is this week's sucka. You know what? That should be a recurring thing. Leonard Fournette's this week sucka. Sucka number 2, I'd say Daniel Jones, but I mean, might not agree with me. But
Josh Allen is not far behind king sucka. That's
we shall see.
Steve Scott. He is the delusional Josh Allen fan. I'm Connor Ryan. I am the delusional Daniel Jones fan. You just watched your fantasy 2 dudes, fake balls. See you next week.
Peace.